fights here. I got into a fight 5 days before I was supposed to get paroled.
Let's go find the Blair Witch.
Blair Witch, look at this right here. A little bit of history for that ass. Oh, yep, 1894, state of California. It used to be a reform school. So I was here from 1996 to 1998. When I came here, this was the last place before prison. Just like juvenile hall prison. It's closed now. But I remember coming here all the way down from YTS. And YTS was an adult juvenile detention center. You had to be 18 and older. But I wasn't 18. I was 16 and some change, 17. 16 and some, like 16 and a half, 17. Because I wasn't 18 yet. But I remember coming here all the way from YTS, and it was in 1996. And I went down there by mistake because I was a northerner. And I went to NRC. Then they transferred me to they transferred me to YTS from another California Youth Authority that was all Southern. So they were 100% Southern Mexicans, and I did not affiliate with that specific group. So I was the only northerner, and I remember going to Paso Robles with 6 other rival gang members, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing on this bus? And then it was extremely, I remember it being very intense, and like the tension was there. It was me, one black dude, and the rest of them were all Southern Mexicans. And I remember at the time as a teenager, I was like, man, it's a rude awakening, because usually people go to Nellis from up north at the time, and then you had like maybe 3 or 4, maybe 6 northerners in Nellis. The rest of them were all Southsiders. So everyone to Nellis, like you had to get into a fight every day, 2 or 3 fights a day, at least. And then they sent me to Paso Robles, which nobody ever goes down there because we're just not allowed down there. But they sent me down there probably by mistake because they looked at my complexion, they didn't read my file, and I didn't say anything. I just got on a bus, you know. Wasn't going to be like, hey, I'm not supposed to be here. I remember going down there, and there was this one inmate that I had a run-in with at NRC. He'd always mad dog me in passing, and he was the one that I eventually got into a fight with. Even my cellie at the time, he was a Southerner, and I almost got into a fight with him. He was a coward, he was a bitch. But I didn't end up getting into a fight with him. I got into a fight with somebody else because I know they were going to attack me. I mean, it was going to be a 10-on-1 or a 11-on-1, or it was going to be a lot to one. So rather than waiting for them to attack me, I just attacked him, and then another one jumped on me, and then I started fighting with him. Thinking about it, that was a little funny because, you know, I don't fight anymore, but at the time I enjoyed fighting a lot. It was amazing. And we got sprayed, pepper sprayed. I got assaulted by the cops at the time that were inside Paso Robles. Then I went to the hole, what they called the hole was lockup, by myself, segregated, so I didn't talk to anybody. And there, I remember this one CO, staff member, he came and pulled me out and another guy, because he was from Fresno, he was a Fresno Bulldog, and it was both of us, and he just started asking us questions, asked if we wanted to smoke. He was cool, brought us food. He goes, what the fuck are you guys doing down here? So I don't know, I'm just down here because they sent me down here. And then, so me and him ended up programming together. So I was allowed to hang out with another inmate until I got transferred back up here. But I made a pit stop, and the pit stop was all the way down by Chino Prison. So, and there's no, they were doing a massive transfer and they transferred all the northerners back up here, and I was the only one down there left. And when I got there, they just killed the CO. They killed a black CO. They raped her, stabbed her, threw her body in a trash can, and the whole entire place was on lockdown. So I was introduced to that California Youth Authority in that manner because they were on lockdown. And I remember walking into this cell. I had to walk in sideways because the door was so small, and I was a teenager. And I was walking in sideways because it was so small. And then when they shut the door, like it was just this small corridor, like this little, and there was dust bunnies all underneath the bed. You know how much I hate, cleanliness. It was bad. And so I cleaned. I used my my shower shoes to sweep all the dust bunnies and to throw it in the toilet, and it was dirty. The mattress was like this thin. That was I stayed there for I think I stayed there for like 2 weeks. Never got to go anywhere. So anywhere I went, I got handcuffed. I didn't get to shower because they didn't want to let me out. People stayed up all night screaming, yelling, because it was an old California Youth Authority. So it had no windows. All the windows were cracked out, so you can see a bunch of stuff out there. And then I finally made my way all the way back up here. So that was my introduction to California Youth Authority. 2 places down south where I didn't belong, and I probably had more enemies than I can count. And then I come up to Preston, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going home, I'm gonna have some friends, people that I associate with, and I get to Cedar Lodge, and all of a sudden, a riot breaks out. My first day, this massive riot just breaks out. And I didn't know who was who, right? And typically, the dorms had different rules at the time. One jump, we all jump, or some places don't really do that, meaning if you and me are friends, and you get into a fight, I don't care if you're winning or not, I gotta sit there and help you beat them up even more. And I didn't exactly know what the rules were because I'm new. It just happened. And I remember not knowing if it was one jump, we all jump, or everything's taken care of, sit back, because you gotta have some people stay back sometimes to make sure that we still have somewhat control of the unit. And I didn't know. So that was my introduction to Preston, and then I went to my dorm. And it was pretty interesting, California. I got into a lot of fights here. I got caught for some, didn't get caught for others. I've seen a lot of violence at this place. I learned how to be extra manipulative here. I learned how to manipulate here. This was like my school of manipulation, the school of arts of manipulating situations and circumstances, learning how to speak a little bit differently, figuring out if the person in front of me is actually my friend or manipulating me. So this was like my school that I think helped me to prepare for prison, because I learned a lot of useful tools here, because everybody's trying to manipulate you here to some extent. Your friends, they're trying to spin you up. They called it leva. you throw somebody on leva, and then you can't talk to them anymore, even though they're your friend, until they beat somebody up. I mean, thinking about it now, it was like really childish at the time. Some of the stuff we used to do, but we lived by these rules. You know, if we go around to call somebody a leva, it's like on sight. You can't say certain words without it causing problems in a fight. It's interesting, the things that I learned here, and I thought at the time that was normal. It's kind of hard to talk about it because it makes me seem like I'm stupid or I'm ignorant, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I knew how to defend myself, and I knew how to defend words, and I knew how to defend a color. But that intensity of defending, say for example that cone, like if I represented that cone, I would die for that cone. Even though to you it may seem like, why is he defending that cone to that extent? Like, it's just a fucking cone, go buy another one. But in prison or in the California Youth Authority, it doesn't really work like that. You know, we're teenagers, we're kids, and you grow up on the streets and you grow up with violence, and then you get put in this place, and then it's even more violence. And then all the lodges are named after trees, like cedar, fir, evergreen, arbor. They're all named after trees. Every single California Youth Authority was named after something. This is the oldest one that's shut down now, just like I think a lot of them are. But I remember my mom came here I graduated high school. Oh, this is my high school. I actually graduated high school here. This is where I actually graduated. It's called James A. Whedon High School. And I walked, I had a cap and gown. I got pictures too.
For real? Yeah,
and my mom came, my sister came, my dad came. Actually all 3 of my sisters came. The one I don't talk to, she came too. That was before the incident happened. But yeah, this is my high school. That's the trip.
That's true.
Yeah.
What was it like walking?
Walking with all boys?
Yeah.
It was different. I mean, you know, put the little cap off to the side. There's a VHS video somewhere of it that Heather has Heather was a girlfriend of mine when I was a teenager. Actually, I got her tattooed on my leg. She came too. She's always been in my life. That's why I wrote her a lot of letters back and forth, and she never made fun of my letters because I didn't know how to read and write because I was dyslexic. But she definitely encouraged me to be different and to be more, and that I could accomplish a lot more. But at the time, I didn't want that, and I didn't believe that I could actually do anything more other than just gangbang and fight and create violence and hate my parents. That's pretty much what I did. But I got into so many fights here. I got into a fight 5 days before I was supposed to get paroled.